What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Ready to Love Season 5, Episode 11. The episode was titled A Reason, a Season, or a Lifetime, you guys. So before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other on the channel and are not yet subscribed to the channel, then I'm going to need you guys to do me the biggest favor. Stop taking me out on this date and having me foot the bill at the end of it. Do me that favor by liking the video, turning the notifications on, subscribing to the channel, and then you guys sharing that. So with that out the way, without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Ready to Love. All right, you guys, so before we even talk about Ready to Love, there are a few things that I want to say. So it took me a few minutes to come on camera, right, you guys, because, you know, if you probably can't tell, but my eyes might be a little bit red. I've been crying because today marks the 9-year anniversary that my grandmother passed away. She passed away New Year's Day, 2013. So she passed away January 1st, 2013 at around 8 o'clock. I remember it specifically. We were at the hospital. My insensitive aunt, the way she told me how my grandmother, the way she told me was just the most insensitive thing. But that's my aunt. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, today marks 9 years that she passed away. So I'm just a little bit in my feelings right now, but you know, we'll get through it. Now, before we get to, you know, I want to get that out the way. So if my emotions are up and down, that's what it is. Also, you guys, I want to post a picture of Cornelius and Camille, right? So you guys will see it somewhere on the screen. You guys might see it over here or here. But this picture of Cornelius and Camille, it says FYI, not blinking or running. So tell your mama and them. And then this picture of them is very cringeworthy. Ugh. Cringe to the worthy. Cringeworthy. And then also, you guys, there's a YouTuber that I want to plug. Actually, there's two of them that I want to plug. The first one, her name is actually Aubrey. So I will post her right here. This will be her channel. You guys can go subscribe to her. And then I'll actually put the link to her channel down in the description bar. Go check her out. She does Ready to Love. And I know she does Married at First Sight. So I know somebody asked me about Married at First Sight. You know, we will think about redoing Married at First Sight once it comes back in February. The issue that I have with Married at First Sight is that it's 2 hours long. But if I don't have anything else on, Wednesday nights? If I don't have anything on Wednesday nights, we'll review Married at First Sight. It's in Boston. We'll pick up reviewing that, right? I know someone else asked me to review, what's that show? 90 Day Fiance. So you guys, this current season that's airing, I'm not going to review it, but we will, at some point, we'll look into doing 90 Day Fiance. The only issue that I have with doing 90 Day Fiance is that I know that some YouTubers have had issues with Discovery, who owns, you know, who's the parent company behind them, right? You guys know I use, you guys know I use my pictures, right, to steal so that you guys know who I'm talking about. But they do copyright, you know, us YouTubers, so I don't necessarily know. I have to really think about that one if I want to do it, because I don't need a copyright on my channel. But we'll think about that. And also, the last YouTuber that I want to plug is It's J-Dub. He is, you know, he comments a lot, and you know, I see him on Nisha's channel. I see him on Niecy's channel. He's actually commented on my last Ready to Love video, so he showed me some love, so I got to show it back to him, right? So yeah, go subscribe to It's J-Dub. I'll put his link in the description bar as well, you guys. Now, with that out the way, now let's go ahead and talk about Ready to Love, shall we? All right, you guys. So thank God that next week is the season finale of Ready to Love. This season has been one that I would love to forget, right? I want to forget that we went to DC. And J-Dub, I know you live in DC, buddy, but they made your city look bad. Really did. But I know I did hear that, you know, casting in DC is not that easy, right? And that's what I'm thinking about with Love and Marriage DMV, right? Casting might not be, and Real Housewives of Potomac, the casting might not be that easy because, you know, DC, You know, you got political figures out there. So you got people who probably have, access to certain things that they can't talk about on TV, which is probably why the Real Housewives of DC failed. One of the reasons that DC failed, right? But that ain't got nothing to do with nothing, right? But yeah, next Friday is the finale of Ready to Love. Thank God. I know that we got people who are locking each other down, but I just don't see that it's gonna last, right? But this week is the ladies' week to send someone home, right? So the ladies meet up with Tommy, right? And Tommy tells the ladies, hey ladies, so what you gonna do this week is you gonna take one of your guy and you gonna introduce him to your family, right? Because you know that your family lean on them for guidance because they will tell you the truth. Okay, Tommy, you know, it is what it is, right? So now I'm about to get up and walk out of my powder blue suit and show you what 54 and 6 it looks like. I'm like, really, Tommy? You're like, so we gotta do this? Okay, cool, right? So the first date that we see is Aisha and Sydney, right? So Aisha is going to be introducing Dante to her mother and to her brother, right? And Sydney is going to be introducing Phil to her parents, her mom and her dad, right? She looks exactly like her mother. Right? So when Mr. Dante came in and sat down with Aisha's family, her brother really came right at him. You know, he was like, so you got 3 kids, right? Yeah. 3 kids with 3 different women, right? Yeah. So what's the relationship like with you and them, right? He says the relationship is good. He says 2 of them have remarried, right? 2 of them have remarried, right? I was like, oh, okay. I just still question, how do you spend time with your kids, right? So your 3 children are in 3 different households. How do you make time for each one of them? Because you have to go from house to house to house. How does that work? If you had 3 kids with 2 different women, that would be easy, right? That would be easier, slightly. Because that means you don't have to go between 2 households, right? They might as well be sister wives and live in the same house. Just saying. All right, and so let's move back over to Sydney, right? So Phil, he showed up with flowers for Sydney, her mother, and was it bourbon or scotch? One of those 2 for her father, right? So they sit down and they have a conversation, right? Her mama immediately hit him with do you have a savings account? He was like, yeah. And Sydney was like, Mom, you don't ask a man if he has a savings account. Girl, why not? I want to know if you are financially stable. You want to date my daughter. So in dating my daughter, can you take, not necessarily just take care of her, but she's not gonna be one of those women who has an ain't shit nigga living in her house, or you live in, whatever, however the situation is, right, y'all, cohabitate, right? And she's taking care of the bills. She's taking care of, the bills, cooking, cleaning, and all that stuff. Like, you can hold your own weight, can't you? So I didn't have an issue with her mama asking if he, I didn't have an issue with her mother asking that question. I was like, okay, do you have a savings account? He says, yes, he does. So that's pretty much it, right? Her mother did say that I don't know if her dad said, but I know her mother said she likes him, right? I don't remember what Aisha's family said about Mr. Dante, because he is a red flag, a walking red flag. 3 kids, 3 different women. That's not a good look for me. Just saying, not a good look. But we're gonna move forward, you guys. Next up, you guys, we got Mumin. Did I roll my eyes? I think I did. Didn't mean to roll my eyes. I really didn't. I really didn't. Mumin. Now you guys know how I feel about Mumin, right? And I think that's why I rolled my eyes, cause yeah, that's why I rolled my eyes. It's not that I don't like Mumin, right? It's the fact that Mumin is like a tumbleweed on this show, She's a tumbleweed, because you guys know how tumbleweeds just whoop, 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 right? Tumbleweeds just move, and that's what Mumin has done this entire season. Mumin has not really had, like, if we're being honest, Mumin hasn't had a real connection with anybody on this cast, right? Because she first started out with Corey, because Corey changed her flat tire. But you guys remember, Mumin's love language is physical. No, that's not. That's Shiloh. Her love language is acts of service, right? If somebody changes your tire, that makes you want to give him. So let's just say you are on the side of the road and you call AAA, you call your insurance company, and they send somebody out with a tow truck or whatever to either tow your car. Let's say you get a flat tire, change your tire. Let's say you run out of gas, they give you gas. Let's say your car just breaks down, they tow you, right? They do all that kind of stuff. So would you then say, hey, you just helped me out tremendously. Want to go on a date? Because that's what it gives. Literally, that's what it gives. But Mumin has Frank. Oop, not Frank. Yeah, Frank. Frank is meaning her sister, her uncle, and her dad, right? So her dad is, when Frank showed up, right? Her dad asked Frank, "Hey, are you ready for a relationship?" No, he's not. I'll answer that question for you, right? So then they asked him about, if he's dating anyone else, right? And where does Mumin place? When it comes to Frank and Mumin, because you guys know Frank likes Sydney, which is really interesting to me, right? Because if you go back to the beginning of the season, Frank had a connection with Aisha, but then once Sydney came in, it's kind of like he threw Aisha to the side, and then we randomly just got Mumin thrown in, which I still don't know where Mumin came in, right? So honestly, if I'm gonna rank Frank with who he's looking at, Sydney's number one, Mumin is 0. I don't even think Mumin places. Let's be real, I don't think Mumin places at all. Because just listen to think about what I just said, right? The beginning of the season, he had the connection with Aisha. Remember, they were in that photo booth, they were playing pool, right? Then we go episodes down and we are introduced to Sydney. Once Sydney comes in, no more Aisha, it's strictly Sydney. But then once Walter and Mumin had their issues, now Frank and Mumin have a connection with each other. Where did it come from? Right. Let's move on, you guys. So next up, we don't see anybody meeting anybody's family. We see Phil and Shiloh, right? So Phil and Shiloh, they are meeting up with Tommy, right? And so what happened with Phil and Shiloh is that Phil and Shiloh went out to a bar, right? They got drunk, and not Sydney, but Shiloh, the bells finally went off in her head, because in the last review, I've been saying it for the last few weeks with these reviews about Shiloh. I told Shiloh in my last review that I did that he was not into her, and you could literally see it. It's kind of like she was trying to pull teeth with him, right? Because you guys remember, she told him that she chose him, but he didn't reciprocate that, right? And in that moment, I was like, you don't see that. You're telling this man you like him, but he ain't giving you the same, response back, right? This is actually exactly what Shiloh did to Tyrone, if we're being honest. You guys remember, Tyrone, in the beginning of the process, Tyrone told Shiloh he chose her, but remember, she told him she wasn't there yet, right? So now she got it back in the form of Phil. I really I feel bad for her. I really do feel bad for her, right? But let's go back, right? So remember, they had that. So she finally thought in her head, like, yeah, he gave me a hug. Yeah, he gave me a peck on the lips, but he never said, I choose you either. So they went to the bar, and that's when she started questioning him, and she said she never really got an answer from him. And I'm like, yes, you did. You got an answer from him. You just didn't want to accept that answer, is how I feel. You guys can agree or disagree. Let me know what you think. But I feel that, she got her answer. The thing is, she didn't accept that answer. Verbally, non-verbally, he told you specifically, non-verbally, that he's not at that point right now with you, right? He told you non-verbally, but you needed a verbal response. I don't know why you needed a verbal I don't know why she needed a verbal response when he gave her the non-verbal response, right? His body language, go back to when they were at that retreat. His body language spoke it. His body language spoke it loud and clear. So the question for me is, why did you guys have to go on that date? You should have been in that moment. You should have said, you know what? This is a little off, right? I just told you that I'm picking you, but you embraced me and kissed me on the lip. You didn't say, I choose you too, Shiloh. I want to see where this goes. He didn't say that. So they got into an argument with each other, right? Things got heated. So then, she said that, she wanted to get away from him so that way she can get some clarity, right? Now, mind you, it was 4 or 5 in the morning, right? So they're at the bar. Everybody started to leave. I'm about to say, what bars open at 4 and 5 in the morning? But I forget. I'm in a different state. Because have I ever been to the, nope. Because even that club closed at 2 a.m., right? That one closed at 2. 1 or 2. So never 4 a.m. Because we went to the Waffle House afterwards, and that was like 3 in the morning. The days of being young. But yeah, so at 4 a.m., so she went outside, right? She wanted to get away from him. She wanted some clarity. I understand that part, right? And honestly, what they said happened, right? I don't know how I feel, because I understand where Shiloh's coming from, but a part of me also can see what Phil was saying, right? So they were outside, right? Somehow they were in an alley. I don't know why y'all were in an alley. I don't know why you guys were in an alley at 4 in the morning. That is alarming for me, right? Because anything can happen. Basically what Phil was saying, anything can happen, right? At 4 a.m., yeah, I'm not going down no dark alley at no 4 o'clock in the morning. I want to be on a street that has lights, right? Because anybody, like at 4 a.m., people are drunk, like something bad can happen, right? And if it, I mean, and let's just say for the sake of saying, what if a car came down the alley and it's dark and like I said, someone's drunk? You could get hit, you can get kidnapped, there's a slew of things that can happen, right? So what happened is she went down the alley. She told him she wanted him to leave her alone, right? I respect that. But he says that, he wanted to just get her away from that alley. I get that as well, right? So she said he picked her up and took her back towards the car. And this is a hard one for me, right? Because like I said, I can understand both sides of what they're saying. I get both sides. I get both sides. She's saying, don't touch me. And when she said, don't touch her, you should have said, okay, I hear you. I'm not going to touch you. But can we move back this way? Like, come on, let's just go back towards the car. Where there, because I don't want you going down this alley because I don't know what could happen, right? So let's just kind of ease back towards this way, right? And that's really what he could have done. But I'm thinking, even saying that out loud, right? If she was upset in that moment, she wouldn't have, came with him, right? She wouldn't have. But I don't agree with him picking her up. I just think that there was another alternative. I just don't know what that alternative is at this point, right? But there was definitely another alternative. He did not have to pick her up. When she said, don't touch me, respect the woman and don't touch her, right? But also for Shiloh, you could have put yourself in a dangerous situation. Don't go down don't go down an alley. Don't do that. But let me know what you guys think about that situation, because like I said, I see both sides. I really do see both sides, and it's an interesting one, right? It's an interesting situation. I see both sides of the coin. He was just wanting to get her away from the alley, but she didn't want him to touch her. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that, and we're gonna move on, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, we see Sydney, right? So Sydney is going to be introducing Frank to her sister, and then we have Walter, who's going to be meeting Sabrina's cousin. In this episode, in Sabrina's interviews, that blonde wig, it was a no, right? So Walter and Sabrina. The only thing that I noticed was listening to when her cousin was talking to Walter was the fact that they said that Walter likes younger girls, which I'm like, oh, that's not a shock, right? But he says that, he's thought about it, and, if his wife were still here, she would be around the same age as Sabrina. I was like, what that mean? What that mean? So kind of confused about that, but okay, Walter, if you say so. I don't know what that meant, but hey, whatever. So let's move back over to Sydney, right? Her sister asked Frank at one point, is he dating anyone else? He says yes. And he says that it is very hard because, he likes Sydney and he likes Mumin. Allah don't care who tell it. You like Sydney. But I don't know if Sydney necessarily likes you as much as she likes Phil. But that's it for the days, right? So then we see the ladies, so they meet up with Tommy. So each lady is going down the line about, their dates with the men, right? Sydney, we know she had 2 dates. Phil, I'm not flipping y'all off. I'm so sorry. I didn't think about that when I did this. Phil and Frank. Those are her 2 dates. She talks about it. Her sister told her, who she would pick. Pretty positive. Wait, her sister told her who she would pick, but she only met Frank. Whatever. So she talks about her date with Phil, about, him bringing her parents the gifts, right? And the camera panned over to Shiloh, whose face was, just like, really. So then Aisha told about her date with Dante. Sabrina told about her date with Walter. Did Mumin talk about her date with Frank? If she did, I wasn't listening because I don't really care. Because I just don't think that they're... Yes, she did. Because she talked about her dad. It's not going to happen. It ain't going to happen, right? So, then after that, Shiloh went and she told about the situation between she and, Phil, right? And Sydney said, well, that's not something that I've experienced, right? I was like, oh, I hate when people say that's not the person that I've experienced. But she did, say, but, I don't agree with that. And, I'm sorry that happened to you. And she asked her, is it okay if I have a conversation with him about this? And Shiloh says, yeah, go for it, right? So then Shiloh says that, he wants to meet up with me and he wants to have a conversation. And I'll give him that, right? So Tommy says, okay, that there is no eliminate this week. So, and he says, so I'll wait for you, because after you have your conversation with Phil, I'll wait for you to come to me and tell me whatever, you want, whatever is going to go for it, right? So then we see Shiloh and we see Phil meet up, right? I'm still stuck on how I feel about this. Because I see Phil's point of view, and that's the worst part about it, is I can see his point of view. You're going down an alley. I don't want you to go down this alley. But he didn't have to, he took matters into his own hands, right? And I get Sydney's point of view, Shiloh. I get her point of view. Yes, I get it. You don't want me to go down the alley. But when I said don't touch me, you should have respected my wishes, right? So then he asked her, do you think I was trying to harm you? She says, I do. He was like, really? She says, not physically, just emotionally. And she said that to the ladies as well. She didn't think that he was trying to physically hurt her, right? It's just interesting, right? Because I'm thinking about this situation in my head and how would I have approached it, right? I'm never going to, I know for me personally, I'm never going to, invade someone's, personal space, right? I'm never going to do that. But if we're in a situation where it's 4 a.m. and you're going down an alley, well, what I do, I think what I would do is, like I said earlier, I'm gonna follow behind you. You can be mad all you want to, but I'm going to follow you just to make sure nothing bad happens, right? And then I'm gonna tell you like, hey, like, can we kind of get away from this alley, right? And if you say no, leave me alone, I'm like, okay, I'll leave you alone, but I don't want anything to happen to you, so I'm gonna keep my distance from you, but I'm still right here because, like I said, I don't want a thing to happen to you. And maybe that's what Phil could have did, right? But I also think Phil is scary because Phil said he didn't want to follow behind her because she said that, right? Phil, you don't have a gun. You don't have, are you? Because he was talking about it's a bad neighborhood, right? So if it's a bad neighborhood, why were y'all there in the first place, right? But things didn't go too well with them, right? So then after that, we see her and she met up with Tommy, basically to tell Tommy that the journey ends there for her. And that was the end of the episode, you guys. So we are moving into the finale. And I honestly, God, don't really care about this finale that much. But hey, we're going to see who's left. Of the ladies, it's 4 ladies, and I think it's still 5 men, right? Or is it 4 men, 4 ladies? So you guys, I'm gonna take a wild guess as to who I think will wind up together. Walter and Sabrina, I feel like for the fuck of it, they'll make it to the end with each other. Sydney, I feel she's gonna pick Phil. Aisha, I feel like she's gonna pick Dante. Frank and Mamine, don't see it happening. Those are that's who I think is going to be the last one standing. Phil and Sydney, Sabrina and Walter, and Aisha and Dante. I think those are going to be the 3. I think those are going to be 3 people that stay together. I think that's it. Because I just don't see anything with Frank and Mamine. I don't. I really don't. Because I feel like Frank is going to try to choose Sydney, but Sydney is going to say she likes Dante and Phil more. Let me know what you guys think. But that's it, you guys. Be sure to like the video, leave your comments in the comment section below, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications on, and share the video, you guys. And until the next time, you guys stay safe out there, take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.